Sarah Strachan. I may have had a few questions about Sarah's ability to play Messiah when I first saw her in action. This little but pesky outside back was going to have to be able to handle the physicality of the college game. I got to see her club team play a very good club team one day, and it was obvious she was more than capable of holding her own. I knew she could do the job. 94 times, the most in your class, you stepped on the field. Every game but one, and I'm not even sure which that one may have been. A true measure of consistency and your ability. A tireless work rate, gritty spirit, high IQ reading the game, a strong desire to get involved in the offensive end of the field. Things we like to say about all of our defenders: steady, consistent, dependable, and most importantly, determined. The value I have for you: selflessness. Sarah has such a heart for others, which is why you're going to be a great counselor. You put others before yourself even when things are hard in your own life. Your investment in your teammates' lives has not gone unnoticed. Your willingness to do the dirty jobs that need to be done for the benefit of the team and your teammates are not beneath you. If your team needed it done, it was done, and you would do it. You embody and share the love of Christ to others. There's no greater gift to give. Sarah.
I've loved soccer for my entire life, but I can honestly say that Messiah is where I fell in love with the sport. As I was getting recruited to Messiah, I was between here and, coincidentally, Christopher Newport University. I remember making a pros and cons list of the two schools and trying to decide where to go and what school fit best for me as a player and a person. I also remember talking to my club coach about it at the time, and I remember him saying, "What's the point of the list, Sarah? We all know where you'll end up. We all know where you're meant to be." And he was right. He was absolutely right. Messiah has always been the place I was meant to be. It's definitely the place God has wanted me to be. Funny story though, when I finally made the decision to come to Messiah, I remember calling Coach, and I was in my room super nervous and excited to tell him the good news that I was coming to play for him at Messiah College. Me, Sarah Strachan, was coming to play for him. Once he picked up the phone, I told him my good news. We talked for a few minutes, and when we were both saying goodbye, I said something like, "Thank you so much, Coach. I'm so excited to play for Messiah." And Coach goes, "Me too. I'm glad you're excited. We're very happy to have you, Ava." Have a good rest of your day. So, we never talked about it, but there it is. So yeah, Coach called me Ava after I committed. Luckily, I didn't take it too hard and still eventually decided to stick with my choice of coming to play for him at Messiah. I feel so privileged to have been a part of a team who works so unbelievably hard for one another and constantly shows relentless improvement. Treadmill runs, 40-minute distance runs in the heat, track workouts when no one else is watching, fighting through constant mental battles, lifting and getting outside of my comfort zone. My teammates yelling in my face during my 23rd minute of the 8.8 test and saying, "You could do anything for a minute, don't you dare get off that treadmill." Hearing Coach yell on the fourth lap of the mile, "This is it, get going." And finishing the 2200s with confidence that we did everything we could. No regrets. Each of us worked so unbelievably hard for each other and for our Lord. I have thoroughly enjoyed and invested in this team for 4 years. And after finishing my fourth and final season, I can honestly say that this is undoubtedly the best place in the country to play soccer. And it's all because of the people who make up this program. My 4 years at Messiah have been life-changing. But once I started writing this speech, I realized I wanted to reflect most on my favorite season, this season of 2018. When I think about this season, I think about the passion and intense focus in Kayla's eyes every day of practice. I think about the determination in our back line. I think about our keepers making save after save in a drill where we were shooting at them from about 10 yards out. I think about our midfield handling every pass I basically shot at them. I think of our freshies getting better and better every single day. I think about Coach's motivational talks before games and Boz's intentionality with each person on this team. I think of Chalky's sense of humor and his occasional soft side that my class had the pleasure of experiencing on our last weekend of NCAAs. To sum it up, when I think about this season and when I think about this team, I think about fearlessness. Holly and Nikki, it's been so fun being able to play with both of you for a year, and now having the honor of being coached by the two of you. I love you both so much, and you've had such an impact on my life and on my class's life. I wanted to thank you for giving my class a fantastic example of leadership. It's been really helpful, and it helped us understand how we wanted to lead this year as seniors. Thank you for all that you guys do, and I'm super thankful for the positive effects you've had on my life over the past few years. Love you both. Jockey, thank you for your sarcasm. I've really appreciated it over the years, especially during inappropriate moments when I'm trying to be serious and you're making it as difficult as humanly possible. Thank you for your love for this team and your dedication and commitment to MWS over the years. Thank you for bringing laughter and sarcasm to the team and for bringing the beautiful game of LRC. I will always be thankful that I got to see Ava go to class dressed up as a goth person for a day because she lost. Side note, I'm also super thankful for your love of Game of Thrones and how our class bonded with you through that. Thanks for giving us funny memories like that to look back on. And thank you for being open with our class on the bus during NCAAs. That will probably always remain as my favorite chalky memory. Boss, you are the most intentional, selfless person I know, and I am so thankful to God that you are a part of this coaching staff. You make a huge difference on this team, and your intentionality towards everyone is so evident. Thank you for being there for me and always asking me how I'm doing. It will always blow my mind how you could always tell when I wasn't okay or when I had a bad day. I always thought I hit it really well, but apparently not, because you could always notice. Thanks for being the defensive coach for the back line when we split up positions during practice, and thanks for kicking the ball really, really high in the air so I could get better at one-touching it out of the box. I will always love and appreciate your belief in me as a player and for your support and encouragement over the years. I will miss you so much, Boss. You've made a lasting impact on me. Thank you. Coach, thank you for seeing the best in me at all times. Thank you for giving me a chance to prove myself on the field and for helping shape me into the player I am today. Something that has always stuck out to me about you, Coach, is your belief in every single one of your players. I personally experienced this throughout my years here. You saw the best in me, even when I went through mental battles and struggled to be confident in myself on the field. In the past, I felt like coaches often put me on the back burner of their minds because of my size. It didn't give me a fighting chance, which motivated me, but I had never had a coach in my life who had as much belief in me as you. And even though your first thought of me was, who is this tiny, sopping wet little girl, you've done nothing but believe in me and teach me to become the right back I turned out to be. Thank you for always being open to talk to me about anything, and for listening to me when I needed to talk about my family on a bad day. You're the best coach in this country, and our team thrives off of your leadership. A few weeks ago, after we lost, I was having a hard time understanding why did this happen. But when you met with us in our last meeting, you told us that even though you're not really a goal-oriented kind of person, if we had any goal, it was never to win. It was to play great soccer. And we did that, and no one will ever be able to take that away from us. Coach, I will be eternally grateful for that reminder. It gave me immense peace, and it's helped me to move on. You're amazing. I'm so sad to leave, and especially sad to leave you. We love you. Mom, thank you for being my biggest fan for the past 18 years. Thank you for supporting me and pushing me to be a better woman of God. Even though you didn't grow up playing soccer, I personally think you've done a very impressive job at maintaining a low-key, crazy soccer mom profile. You've never been that psycho mom screaming at all my games or embarrassing me in some way, and I've always appreciated that about you. But in all honesty, your constant support and unconditional love for me and our family has been incredible, especially this past year. You exemplify strength, beauty, resiliency, unconditional love, and faithfulness. You are someone I admire and aspire to be. Thank you for driving me to practices and putting up with the sad Sarah after I would lose a game or not play well. You always knew if I needed space or a hug, and I think that's a mom thing, but either way, I've always really appreciated your ability to read me so well. Thank you for your constant support, love, and compassion for me. I would never be on this stage or at Messiah without your sacrificial love. Dad, thank you for being my other biggest fan for the past 18 years. I'm a soccer player because of you, and I'm a Messiah women's soccer player because of you. Thank you for passing the ball with me in our yard when I was 4 years old, for coaching my house league teams. Thank you for sending me to camps I didn't want to go to, and for making me do ODP when I hated it so much, but you knew it would be good for me in the long run. Thank you for encouraging me to be the best version of myself and sometimes for pissing me off because that motivated me just as much. Thank you for financially providing for our family, which allowed me to travel across the country for tournaments and camps. Most of all, thank you and Mom for forcing me to go to a Messiah Res camp in 2011 by myself. It ended up being the only time Coach saw me play besides Jeff Cup, and it forced me to go outside my comfort zone. Thank you for making up for my lack of emotions by showing your emotions pretty much all the time. Mom and I always say the boys in the family are the drama queens. Thank you for being such a consistent presence of faith and unconditional love in my life, and for pushing me to be my absolute best. Thank you for being just as passionate about MWS as I am. I remember walking into the office one day and you were crying because you were watching some MWS highlight video from like 10 years ago. You're so passionate about everything, but MWS has always been one of your biggest passions, even way before I was even considering it as a potential school. Thank you for that passion and confidence in me as a player and a person. I am who I am because of who you are. Love you. Will. Hey buddy. Just wanted to say that I love you. I'm thankful for you, and even though you haven't played soccer in a while, you were a huge part in making me better in middle school and high school. You saved all my shots in the backyard, and it used to make me really angry. Thanks for being the supportive and protective little brother that you are, and I'm so happy that you were able to make it to a few games in my last season as a player. Love you. Grammy and Pat. You guys are the most loyal people I know. I will never be able to explain to you how much your commitment to this team and to me has meant to me over the past 4 years. You guys came to every one of my games, no matter the weather, snow,